We want a house. I mean, that's the smart decision to make. But
Evan, you can just say, just say it.
I want our wedding to be the best wedding of all the ones that we've been to.
That's where we come in.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of First Eps. We've got an awesome show for you today. We're talking about the brand new Netflix reality series, Marriage or Mortgage. We've got a great special guest here to talk about the age-old question, do I get married? Do I buy a house? Who knows? Let's get into it. My name's Eric.
I'm Keith.
This is First Eps. All right. Thanks for joining us today. First Eps. We're talking about marriage or mortgage. We've got an amazing guest, our first guest ever on the podcast. Hi, Marcy. How are you?
I'm awesome. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited to have you. We had to call you in specifically for this episode because A, you're getting married, and B, you're like a world-renowned real estate agent. Like it works out perfectly. So, I mean, we're talking about this show, and we'll get into the meat of the show and what it is. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, the name of it. I mean, right? But yeah. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, about like how long you've been doing the whole real estate thing, how long you've been doing the whole wedding thing. Shoot it. Give it to us.
Been in the real estate business for 5 years. I'm an associate broker with Century 21 Gold Standard. Full-time agent, working all the time, working hard to sell as many houses as I can, help as many people find their first home or sell a home as I can. Got engaged this past August, and I had about almost exactly a 1-year engagement, getting married August 27th of 2021.
Yay.
Very nice. Congratulations.
And by then,
Thanks.
yeah, it's super exciting. By then, COVID's just going to be an afterthought. It's going to be great. It's perfect. It'll be perfect timing. Everybody will be ready to just rage out. And hopefully we'll all be
moving on.
Yeah, we'll all be vaccinated. Just everybody's just licking everybody's faces. Like pre-COVID.
Marcy, is that what you wanted
At the wedding?
Yeah.
It's not that kind of party.
After the wedding? I mean, before the wedding is fine, but I mean, whatever. It's your day. You decide when the face licking will happen.
Sounds good.
So speaking of face licking, how about the show?
That is the best segue ever.
Thank you.
But yeah, let's talk about the show. Okay, so it's a new Netflix reality series, and what they do is they have these a wedding planner, Sarah, and the real estate agent, Nicole, and they're battling it out. There's a couple on there, and they have to try to get them to either choose to get married, to spend all their money on a marriage, or spend all their money on a down payment for a house. That's it. It's black and white. You could have one or the other, and it's kind of like they battle. Like I didn't expect they were going to be it was going to be a competition.
Yeah,
that was weird. What do you guys? First of all, what do you guys think of the two women, that the Nicole and Sarah?
Well, I mean, from my point of view, I found personally Nicole, the real estate agent, I liked her more than I liked Sarah. I found Sarah to be a little bit of a heavy hand. I thought she was really trying to sell. I don't know. She felt too salesmanish to me. I thought the opposite. I thought Nicole was the salesperson, and Sarah was the one just kind of like, why am I here? She was just kind of sitting there like, oh, we got to do this. And Nicole's like, I'm going to beat you. It's going to be the best. And then Sarah's like, stop talking to me. Marcy, break the tie. What are you thinking here?
I definitely thought Sarah was pushier. Sarah tried a lot harder. I did like that Nicole staged the 3 houses in advance for what they said that they liked, but she wasn't pushy. She's the same style as me. You don't push people. She let them come to their own decision. So I thought Sarah was definitely more salesmanish.
Yeah. I have a question about the staging, and we'll get into it. Let's start. Okay. Let's talk a little bit more about the show. We're not going to give any. So the whole point of these shows is to everybody puts their cards on the table and then they figure out what they want to go with. If you've ever seen House Hunters or any of those shows, it's like always a big question at the end. We're not going to tell you what they chose because that's the fun of the series. Like we're not gonna spoil it. We will, once we get to that part, we'll decide what we would have done in that situation, and we'll see how it plays out. But let's talk about. So it starts off with our couple, Liz and Evan from Naples, Florida. They're moving to Nashville. This whole thing set in Nashville.
So every week's going to be Nashville. Is that right, guys? I wasn't sure about that.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where the Marriage or Mortgage headquarters was in Nashville.
I did see that little blip and I was like, really? It's going to be here?
There's a headquarters.
Okay. Yeah. The headquarters. Gotcha.
Yeah. It's like it's like Avengers Tower, but it's just, and listen, and Nicole got a sweet deal on it too.
Yeah.
She got a pool table in the game room.
Now, now Marcy, would you want to work at Marriage or Mortgage headquarters if you had the option?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course you would.
Absolutely. So I was trying to think, when the couple ultimately picks, right? What's the prize? Well, the prize is the business. The wedding planner is going to get the wedding and the agent's going to get the sale. And
so I have two things. I have two things to say about that. First, when I was putting something on Instagram today, I found Nicole's Instagram. Marcy, I believe you have more followers than she does. So just, congratulations. And second, one of the, I believe it's one of the producers of the show, like the post. And so I was like snooping on his page and it's all like, they get all this business. And then like on top of that, like he's like, retweeting all their stuff. And like, it's this whole thing. Like they're getting it. They're getting all this money. So, it's good for them. And they're getting out there. Their faces are out there, so if we're ever in Nashville and we need a wedding or a house, we know who to go to.
Yeah.
Or we do a Marriage or Mortgage Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
What?
They need to see this podcast.
Oh my gosh. That's right. It could be a second
or
season
listen,
there.
You talk to your bosses. I'll be a wedding planner. You be a real estate agent. And
that'll be easy for me.
We do it. Yeah. Or we can swap roles. We'll see how if you want a little bit more difficult.
I'd love to see Eric as a wedding planner.
Yeah, dude, I've seen the movie Wedding Planner like a dozen times. But I'm not J-Lo. I'm her friend, the girl from Arrested Development. Wasn't that her that was in that?
I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Anyways, all right. So Liz and Evan got a new job. He's a director of catering now. So now they can get a $450,000 house because catering be good right now.
I was thinking that too. I noticed that. I was like, wow, they really are paying them well in Nashville. I mean, of course, I don't know what that really means. Director of catering. Maybe that's more of like a white collar and they've got a huge catering business. But yeah, exactly. I mean, but he's not like the owner of it. He's just the director of it. So it must be like some large business. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah. But I was impressed by that myself. Marcy, quick question. I have to ask Marcy about this.
Yeah.
What did you think about the prices overall for Nashville? Was it a little higher than you were anticipating? Because I was surprised by that personally.
I thought they were a little less than I thought.
Okay.
And the houses they were looking at were maybe 30% the same house, but as Buffalo, but cost 30% more. Maybe.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, I could see that. Like the whole time I was like expecting it to be like much smaller, especially for living in like, I don't know, close to downtown. And then like they would pull out like 7 closets and I'm like, what is this house? Like it was weird. But okay, so the premise is they give their wish lists for both their marriage or their house. And then they, then the Nicole and Sarah are competing to give them what they want, basically. Mm-hmm. You didn't realize it until the end that they were like, I thought it was going to be more like a House Hunters type thing where they're like, if this house is what you like, but no, they were like you said, Sarah was out there staging the whole thing to be like, come on, you want this house. Like so much so as she put the dude's like, I love golden tea. I want a golden tea in my man cave, which is not a weird innuendo for anything. It sounds, but she put it in one of the rooms. She's like, here, this is a golden tea.
Where'd she find that? I was thinking that too, that random vintage game.
she's got a good okay, I keep coming back to the staging. I don't even want to get into it yet because I want to talk about the wedding. The wedding stuff came first.
Right. Okay.
And I thought it was funny, the wedding stuff. So you got Sarah taking them around, showing them all this stuff for their wedding. And like, so the first thing he shows them is like a trolley to like get their guests to the wedding. And then like she shows them the venue. It's this awesome brewery, which I totally the Fat Bottom Brewery.
Have you heard of that? Have you heard of that beer? I wasn't sure.
No, I didn't. But it looked cool. My wedding was in a brewery, so I was totally like, yeah, it was sort of dope. Mm-hmm. But like everything Sarah introduced to them, Liz was like, that's a little too expensive.
Every single thing, the cost.
Yes.
The cost.
So I'm like, there's no way she's going to pick wedding. Like, it was just like, I don't know. Cause she was so like it was like $1,000 and it's like, $1,000. Like the venue was super cheap. It was like $6,000, everything included. Yes.
I'm watching this and, planning my wedding right now for the last 6 months and going forward. Those prices were not like, these were typical prices, but she didn't know.
Okay.
But it seemed just like every single thing. I'm just worried about the cost.
Everything. And I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you on this show? Side note, Marcy, what do you think of Sarah's fur vest during this whole
I loved it.
You
loved
did?
it.
You're a fan of the fabulous. Fur vest? All right, loved okay. It. I just had to double check. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know fur vests were like a thing. Maybe it's a Nashville thing. I don't know. Who knows? But
I don't remember it. So
you don't remember it? Wow.
No.
You have to go back and rewatch it.
All right. I'm writing this down in my notes.
I'll see if I can find a picture of it and put it in here. Or a link to the Bonton.
The Bonton?
That's where she got it from, right? The Bonton?
I don't know.
Probably.
Is it open still?
Macy's? Is that open still? Is retail open still?
Yeah. The Bonton.
Okay, so then we got the trolley. There's this weird party bus they showed them. Marcy, are you getting a weird party bus? No.
Regular limo bus.
Okay. Yeah.
What about this one with weird circular seats everywhere? Weird
circular seats, right? They skeeved me out. I didn't like those.
It looked gross.
Yeah.
It looked gross. But so no trolley?
No trolley.
What are you doing? What kind of what are we talking about for a bar setup at the wedding? What are we thinking?
So the reception starts at 6, cocktail hours from 6 to 7. The bar will be open. I think we got
what are we serving?
Pretty much the top level bar package, only the best for
craft beer. Craft beer, domestic.
We were allowed to pick 4 beers, 2 on tap, 2 bottles. So I think there's 2 craft and then 2 like drink them down quickly if you want type of beers.
That's me with craft beer.
Yeah, James, my fiance picked those. It was his job to pick the beer. But we go until 11 o'clock. It's a pretty long reception. So
do you have a food truck for after?
No, but we are having a late night snack option. It's just not a food truck.
Okay.
Nice.
There will be at the end of the evening. We'll have some pizzas brought in from the restaurant in the venue.
Cool.
That's a great idea. I love it. I didn't know that was a thing until I watched this show that
it's
people want.
Thing.
Yeah.
The late night snack is a new thing.
I love late night snacks, so I am all for it. After our wedding, we went to, I think we drove through Mighty Taco. So, that worked out perfectly. All right. Anything else to add about the marriage side before we move on?
They showed them 2 spaces. So there's the all-inclusive space.
Oh, yeah. And then the other space.
Like empty space.
Yeah, that no one give a shit about. It was awful.
I know. Marcy, what did you think about that? Is looking for, I was like, I would never, the first one was great. $6,000, everything included. It was very nice looking. Don't rent tables, chairs, anything.
Right.
The other one was just an empty slate and it was kind of dated. I was like, I don't look like a competition to me, but.
Well, it also feels overwhelming to me as a bride to worry about taking care of everything that needs to be brought into that space. Separate catering, chairs, tables, every single thing.
Everything.
The other place, I'm assuming it's like the place we picked. there's a built-in wedding planner. And she just knows. She's like, okay, do you want a memory table? Where do you want the dessert table to go? Like, and she just has a list to let me know everything that I have to have.
Super easy. Yeah.
I don't have to rent chairs.
And especially Liz here.
Tablecloths. You got to rent the linen separate too. If you do it that way.
You see, we would just have a series of empty tables in my wedding.
Yeah. Or you would go to the brewery where everything would be like put out there for you.
The brewery was awesome. I knew they were gonna they picked between two. I'm spoiling stuff, but they picked that one. People, I'm sorry, they picked if they decided to go with marriage. They picked the brewery. That would
have been the one they would have chose. So that's what happened. So they narrow it down after they show them all this stuff. They narrow down their selections, and they narrowed it down to the brewery and the trolley. They got rid of the awful giant open space and the gross, disgusting party bus. So then we move on.
Truck.
And the food truck. Yeah, it was out of their budget for I don't know.
What was it? A pudding truck or something? Like banana pudding?
There was banana pudding
and something
sliders. It was like I don't know what the other one. It was called like pudding in your mouth.
I love
if it wasn't called pudding in your mouth, they should call it that.
Loveless.
That's what I remember.
Oh yeah, loveless. You're right.
Called pudding in your mouth.
Banana pudding, $1,500. That's what I got. That's my notes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, $1,500 minimum.
A lot of banana pudding, I hope. All right. So then we move on. We got Nicole showing them 3 houses.
Yes, and a house day. Yep. And that's what I think they told us that too. The one day is like the wedding day, and the one day is house day. So this was the house day.
Yep. So they bring along the dog, Franklin, and they go check out the houses. First house, I thought immediately, I was like, this house is great. It's it's in their budget, has everything they want. Boom. Show's over. Pick this friggin' house.
Yeah, I had the exact same reaction. Beautiful backyard. The dog had one of Marcy's favorite moments in it. Marcy, what did you think about this one as your agent?
I did like the house a lot. I would also like to point out that Liz was the Debbie Downer in all 3 houses once again.
Yeah.
I just knew like this couple, his name was Evan, right?
Yeah.
So Evan, I think it was ultimately up to Liz everything, because he was like really happy about everything. He was into it, and she was the critical one about everything. And I'm not myself a dog person. I like dogs, but do people really pick the house that they want to buy based on if their dog likes it? Because there was a lot of emphasis on the importance of the dog liking the house.
It was true. Like the entire thing. They showed them a house in Franklin because the dog was named Franklin. Specifically, they're like, we want a house downtown. They're like, this is like an hour away, but it's named after the dog. So stupid. And then she's like, we're getting back to the staging. She staged the house for the dog. She got a friggin' sign that says Franklin on it.
And a dog.
You ever buy any personalized items to stage your houses? No.
Marcy, I mean, I'm considering coming back into the area, and I'm going to expect a doghouse.
Yeah, or at least a sign that says Keith's house. Can you put a sign that says Keith's house in like one of the houses you're showing?
It could do that.
All right. I think it's an instant sale.
You're really not supposed to do that. I'm assuming that she got special permission from all the owners to do these things in advance in their houses.
Yeah.
You normally cannot bring your dog to showings, so I'm sure that it was special for the show. If somebody showed up to a showing with their dog, I'd be like, you can't bring your dog in here.
The dog was
bring your dog in someone else's house.
The star of the show, though. You can't not have the dog.
I had a seller call me once. She goes, I was watching the showings today on my cameras, and somebody brought a dog in my house.
Really?
What? They brought their dog in there.
I don't know who would do that either.
Not happy. They were not happy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Liz was like, and so she wasn't poo-pooing the cost of any of these, just like all the other things. Like she never once mentioned like, oh, this one's above budget or whatever. It was always about something else.
Yeah.
Mostly about like, I don't know, stupid stuff. Like
the closets, the cabinets in the
cabinets.
one.
These cabinets look painted as they're like black. They're like black. Like no shit, they're painted.
Yeah, but they did look bad. When they showed the up close, they were a quick paint job to sell that house, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did look bad.
Oh, I totally agree.
I showed a house last week that my clients are like, oh, these cabinets are badly painted. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
so that was like a flashback. Like,
I feel like they were painted black to like cover up all like the weird stains and shit. Cause it was like, who paints their cabinets in their kitchen like just jet black? It was weird. I don't know. I didn't like it.
Oh my God, we're remodeling our new house and we're thinking we're gonna do black cabinets.
Black cabinets, huh?
Black cabinets, white countertops, white backsplash. It looks awesome.
It's gonna look like a Michael Jackson video. Now, for all you kids listening, Michael Jackson was a pop star.
The king of pop.
The king of pop. He was a singer and an actor.
And a dancer.
Google him. Google him. He's a great. You'll find a lot. All right. So 2 other houses. It was just like, oh, here's closets. That was it.
One of the closets was like a bedroom they made into a closet.
Yeah. It was like, no one's making this a closet. It's an office.
I thought that was a little weird too. I don't know. I mean, I guess you can count it as a closet, but
yeah, it was just they really focused on these like the wish lists. Like Liz mentioned once, closet, and then like that was like the focus of the show. It was closet and the dog and golden tea. Now at the third house we go, and she's like,
"Yep,
we got an arcade machine for you," like thinking that's going to win him over.
A little further out. The other 2 are in East Nashville, so very, very close to where he works. This one was a little further out, but you got a lot more for your money out there. But I think it was a little need to be renovated, right? This one wasn't quite as up to date as the other 2 were.
Yeah, they weren't.
I need to bitch one more time about the second one. When they put up those that second house, and they showed the neighbor next door, that's the exact same house. It's very obvious that the person bought one lot and just popped 2 houses on one lot and then thought they could just sell it for however much they were going to sell it for. I thought that was ridiculous. Like, they don't even have a fence between the 2. They're 2 exactly twinned houses, like within 4 feet of each other. It looked totally asinine.
They were pretty close. I feel like I grew up in a neighborhood that was kind of like that, though. I think it was because it was like newly developed, so everything was like the same, but then all and really close to each other.
Okay,
so
maybe they were actual lot sizes. Yeah. I just assumed somebody was trying to jam in as many things as possible and make a big buck.
They had like their mother-in-law living in the house next door.
What's that?
They had like their mother-in-law just living in the house next door, so they had to like build a house for her. It was like a ramp.
I don't want her in my property, so let's just put her next door. Okay, all right, easy.
So okay,
I want to give props to Nicole. I thought she was good. It really is. I know I'm ragging on the dog, but they love their dog, and she knew that was something important to them. And I think she did a great job playing on what they said they wanted. And I also really loved her style. I loved her glasses with her hair slick like back in the car like that. I was like, that looks so good on her.
That hair, the glasses, and the way she carried her purse. You can't see my arm, but she's like walking like this. Oh,
driving her Cadillac. I loved it.
Oh yeah, she had to look down.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan. Sorry, Nicole.
I loved her.
The straight
way she spells her name.
The straight male in the bunch was not a fan of your look. I don't take that as you will. I don't know. I liked her personality, but I don't know. Something about the hair. She looked like she drove in a convertible or something. It was just like blasted back. Sorry,
I
Nicole.
liked it.
Okay, so then they narrow their choice down, and they narrowed their house choice down to the first one. They liked the backyard. Franklin was able to poop freely. They loved it.
What was that? And the dog farting in the car. Why did that have to be on the show?
Just because, Franklin is the third guest star on the show. We got to show him what's up.
Down in here, Franklin.
Yeah, it was totally Evan, by the way.
It's easy to blame it on the dog, isn't it?
Oh, man, I love it.
Okay. So then we go to, we got the montage showing everything that we talked about, and then the big moment. And then it was like, it turned into like, instead of like a game show where they're like, listen,
wait, it's not over yet.
Yes. It was like, let's make a deal. Like, okay, you could have this wedding, but we're going to give you 2 trolleys instead of 1. And we're going to give you this thing for free. And it was like, what's next? Like what, it was crazy. And then for the house side, they're like, she took off like
$30,000
$30,000 off the asking price.
$20,000 price reduction. she was going to give them the doghouse in the video game and pay for the hedges so they couldn't see the next door neighbor.
That's right. The golden tee was a big deal in there.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, that's like $25,000 that she's kind of that she's helping them with.
I think total is 30,000. And I Liz said to me, she was like, not the Liz from this show, my wife Liz. She said, now she just took the price down $30,000. They could just do both and still be within their budget. Show is over. Which
is perfect.
That would have been great. And then, and then everybody's happy. Nicole's happy. Sarah's happy. Liz is happy. Evan's happy. And us, the viewer, the happiest of all. And Franklin. Don't forget Franklin. But yeah, so we're not gonna tell you what they chose. I know, you go watch this show. But let's talk about what we would have chosen.
Yeah.
Marcy, as someone who is getting married and someone who knows about the housing, what would have you chosen and not even what they narrowed it down to? Like, for your wedding, would you have chosen the brewery and the trolley? And for the house, would you have chosen number one?
I think I liked the third house. I didn't like the second house. I think I would have gone with the first or the third. And I talked to my fiance about this. So I watched the show a second time and he was kind of watching it with me, but in between I was telling him about everything. And I said, like, what would we do? What would we do? And it's really hard because we already both owned houses of our own before we even met each other. And so it's not, but I'm like, I thought the show was going to be stupid. I'm like, this is stupid. People need to get it together and have everything they want, right? And then the preview on Netflix is not the first episode. And I'm like, that looks stupid. And then I watched it and I'm like, I see the dilemma and I want to watch another episode. I think it really is real. And I have to look at it as being someone who you get engaged and all you want to do is start planning the wedding. That's how I did. I immediately jumped in. I had almost everything planned that I could have planned within a month. And so I, as much as I want to say house, because I just have to put myself in the position of not being a realtor and not knowing anything about all this. I think I'd be too excited not to do wedding. I would say, we'll just wait another year and then we'll buy a house. We'll rent for another year and then we'll buy a house. So I think I have to say wedding.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. So now we should mention for Evan coming into the situation, he was moving to Nashville. So he was going to be put up in a hotel for a month. And so he had a month to make the decision. Well, a month to make the decision. He had a month to find a place to live. So his alternative then is to, get an apartment somewhere. So Keith, what would you have done?
Oh, I would mortgage, hands down.
Yeah. Which house did you like the best? First one?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah, with the bigger backyard. Yeah, closer to downtown. That seemed perfect. Yeah.
Yep. And I am with you. Mortgage, house number one. And then, maybe take $6,000 and just pretend that I'm getting married and go drink a bunch of beers at Fat Bottom Brewery.
Exactly. So I have to now answer as a realtor.
Mortgage. Exactly.
I think you can really make it work. I think I will actually continue to watch the show because I'd like to know if there's somebody who figures out a way to get both at the end and say, you know what, we don't want to choose. We want both. We deserve both. And I really want to know if that can happen.
Yeah. So after the show aired, they had like this season on Marriage or Mortgage, and there looks to be like a good selection of couples coming in. I do want to see what they all are looking for. So that leads us to our rating. Now, Marcy, what we do, we rate the show based on a scale of binge it all the way to don't stay away from it as far as you can. So where would you rate it?
If it was a scale of 1 to 5 and 5 is binge it, I think I'd actually hit it for a 4.
All right. Yeah. Keith?
It was okay. You know what? I think I don't really like wedding shows, but I do like real estate shows. So I like half the show and the rest of it, I was like, I could take or leave. So I would watch, like, if I was in Marcy's house and she was watching it, I'd watch it, no problem.
Yep.
But,
yeah. And I'm somewhere between, watch it if there's nothing else on, and yes, but not all at once. So I definitely enjoyed it, and like I said, I'm interested to see what the other couples are looking for or decide. Honestly, the part that I cared the least about is what their decision was ultimately. I just liked to see the houses and stuff, and like
venues and everything. Yeah.
And what if for the next, like, however many episodes, they just show them the same houses and Fat Bottom Brewery? That would be great.
I want to watch it so I know what their decision is.
Yeah.
It's so relevant to me.
I know. This is like, you're taking notes about like what people want. You're like, wait a minute, I got to get a sign for a dog in my next showing. Take these notes, and maybe you start letting dogs come through.
Not up to me.
So that's
just my cellar. Somebody brought their dog to my house.
Mm-hmm.
Who does that? That is so rude.
What if they brought the dog like in a little purse, like one of those little like mini lap dogs, and they popped out the head and stuff?
Yeah.
They weren't running around, but they just had the dog. And
I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
So Marcy, why do you hate dogs? Let's get into
I
it.
don't hate dogs. You just can't. If you're going to look at someone else's house, you can't bring an animal in there. What if their kid is allergic to dogs?
Marcy, how do you feel about people bringing small children to the showing? Are you against that?
I love kids.
What if they have like popsicles and they're like licking it and it's dripping all over the house? Well, Marcy doesn't even show up in houses. She was just telling us that. She's got her girls to do that for her.
Yeah, your underlings are taking care of all the
open houses, not showings. I do my own
showings. You do showings. Okay.
Open houses. Yeah. So what if you got a little popsicle kid walking through an open house? Are you telling him not to eat a popsicle?
Where's your parents?
I would hope that their parents are keeping an eye on them.
Very good. That's a good answer.
I don't want to parent a stranger's child.
What if you found that one of your gals, I'm going to call them your gals. What if one of your gals were giving the popsicles to the kids at the open house? How would you reprimand them, or just say, whatever you need to do to make the sale, girl?
It's a terrible idea.
You could give the popsicle to the child on the way out.
Okay.
Smart.
Popsicle
with your card attached to the stick. Or your name on the stick. So then when they get through to it, it's just your name and your phone number. And it's
They have to eat the whole popsicle to get to my information.
Exactly.
Perfect.
So another question I have now, do you think Fat Bottom Brewery is watching this show and being like, come on, pick the brewery because they want the business? Or do you think just being on this show is enough business for them?
I would not be surprised if there are a number of wedding vendors who have paid to be featured.
Is that a thing in the wedding business? Payola getting what are you getting free? Are you getting hooked up?
Marcy, what if Fat Bottom Brewery offered you the venue for free? Looks like we got a destination wedding
in Nashville.
Dibs on the party bus.
Nashville. I've been there 3 times. So much fun. I love that place.
Are you listening, Fat Bottom? We got the girl for you.
Listen,
at Fat Bottom Brewery Nashville.
I told you to stop calling me that, Keith.
Their handle. What?
I said I told Keith to stop calling me that. Fat Bottom. So that was my segue, the beer thing, into the beer I'm drinking today. It is called Clawfoot Bathtub. I figure this is it's what everybody wants in their house. They want a nice bathtub. This is by Fifth Frame, and it's a meal. It is peanut butter, banana, cinnamon toast, and honey.
Wow.
Like it's 10% alcohol, and I'm chewing it, but it is delicious. I definitely there's like this much left at the bottom that's just what I'm assuming peanut butter and honey that I can't get out. It's really weird. I've never had a beer that's like solid in it, but it tastes delicious. So I just wanted to add that for all the beer people listening. But yeah, I think I think we covered it. That's our episode. That's marriage or mortgage. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much, Marcy, for joining us and talking about this. I had so much fun, and you will go down in the annals of First Ep as our first guest ever. You did a great job. Thank you so much. You got anything you want to promote?
Sure. Well, thank you for having me. This was really fun. I haven't seen Keith in so long. I really missed you, Keith.
I know. This was great. It was so nice to catch up to you.
Yeah, it was awesome. And my name's Marcy Dexheimer, Century 21 Gold Standard. Phone number 716-940-2591. Find me on Instagram, MLDexy Fit Realtor. Based my business around working out and being fit as I used to be.
You do the heavy lifting.
Here's a picture of me up there. It's like it reminds me of my glory days when I can see all my abs.
Listen, we've all put on a few pounds. We've all faced the dreaded COVID-19, as I like to call it. In my case, the COVID-25.
I stopped being able to see them before COVID, but I've
never seen mine.
I don't even know what we're talking about.
Thank you. Thanks again for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Thanks to everybody for watching. Please like, follow, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you can rate podcasts. It would mean so much to us when these podcasts are just starting to get going. All those little things really add up. So we appreciate it. And that's it. We'll see you next week for a brand new episode with a show that we have not yet determined. So I hope you join us for that one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
That was perfect.
It was perfect. If I fuck it up this time, I'd be so mad. All right, let's go again. Usually I record it like 15 minutes beforehand and I get the B-roll for the things. I forgot we were just chit-chatting.
Oh my God, it was perfect.
Let's go again.